Chet Holmgren has been by far and away the best rookie in the NBA this season, and I think he might end up running away with the Rookie of the Year award. And I gotta say, I believed that the dude was going to be good, but I'm pretty shocked by just how good he really is. Hello everybody, welcome to Awesome Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and drop a like on this video. It only takes 1 second and makes a massive difference how the video performs in the YouTube algorithm. So I'm going to be talking about Chet in this video, as well as just a little bit of OKC Thunder talk to begin with. I thought that the Thunder were going to be very good this year for sure, but I think that Chet being as good as he has been this early has made me feel like that ceiling is even higher than I originally projected. As of right now, they are one of the best teams in the NBA and one of the highest teams in their own conference, which is not a huge surprise to me. However, so much of that has been spearheaded specifically by the success of Chet on both ends of the floor. Now, I expected him to have a very positive impact on defense, and he's averaging about 2 blocks per game, and the Thunder as a whole are ranked 4th in defense, and I think he has a big part to do with that, a very big part to do with that, especially because last year they were 14th in defense, and really they haven't changed personnel all that much outside of Chet specifically. So defense is obviously where he's making the obvious impact and where I expected to see it from the onset. However, he is way further along on offense than I really anticipated. So he's up to 17 points per game right now. He is shooting 56% from the field, 46% from 3. He's shooting 62% on 2s. He has a 64% efficient field goal percentage, and he's even shooting 91% at the free throw line, which from a 7-footer is pretty freaking ridiculous. I mean, 91% is impressive at any level, but being 7 feet tall, being in the 90s is like being in the 100s. He has the 3 ball going down. Obviously 46% is a little high, but given how low his volume has been, only taking about 3.6 of them a game, I do feel as though he's potentially going to be able to maintain that percentage. Either he maintains that percentage or his volume goes up. Whatever it may be, I think will be a positive outcome, but I do think that 46 is maintainable because he looks very confident in those. The only gripe that I would have is I do feel like 3.6 is a little bit low. I feel like the team could try to get him more opportunities from 3 than they have been, but either way, lights out shooter, excellent defender. But outside of the 3-point shooting, he's putting the ball on the floor quite a bit, creating for himself, whether it's straight line drives or he's had a really good turnaround that he's done a good job of setting up off of the dribble. He had hit that super clutch shot. I can't remember what team that was against, the corner 3 fading out of the corner. Yeah, the guy's just got a dog in him. And offensively speaking, he can kind of do a little bit of everything. He's even a pretty solid playmaker. He's at 2.5 assists per game. Had like a behind the back pass on a fast break that I'm thinking of that was really nice. Just makes the right reads, makes the right play almost every time, fits in perfectly within OKC's scheme. Yeah, dude's just excellent. Very, very good. I would argue he is already a top 10 center in the NBA. There is a list of a couple of players that are just obviously better than him, but that list is not 10 players deep. I will tell you that much. Impact on both ends of the floor, being able to shoot this well as a big man, being able to make very, very few mistakes, especially as a rookie. The guy's just insanely impressive. And I know I said at the top that I think he's going to run away with Rookie of the Year. You know, it's definitely possible that Wemby comes around and his numbers turn a little bit more impressive than they have been as the year goes along. I made a video recently complaining about how San Antonio is using Wemby, so that's a big part of why I think Chet has ended up being more impressive. But in terms of actually impacting the game, I think Chet has been more significant on both ends of the floor, and I do think maybe if you swap them, if Chet was on the Spurs and Wemby on OKC, first of all, terrifying prospect for a couple of years in the future, even though Chet's also kind of a terrifying prospect for the Thunder. It might be similar, but either way, we're just talking about who's playing better, and right now, I think it's been Chet by a pretty significant degree. But I want to talk about OKC in general as well, because while just like with Chet, while I believe they'd be good, I'm a little surprised by just how good they were immediately. Outside of Chet, we're getting another good season from Jalen Williams. Lou Dort has been massive this year. He's shooting 46% from three. He's also hitting his layups. He was statistically one of the worst finishers in the league last year. Has not been the case this season. And he's also not overshooting the ball, which is an issue that I've had with him for quite a while. 8 field goal attempts a game out of someone getting 28 minutes per night. I'm perfectly okay with that volume, especially considering the defensive contributions that Lou is bringing to the table. So I had my doubts about him actually being a part of the future of this team, but given what he's done so far this year, he definitely seems like he's going to be a big part of the future of this team. SGA is SGA. He's been awesome. There's not much to say other than that he has been awesome. Unfortunately, if there was anybody that has been a little bit questionable, it has definitely been Josh Giddey. I know there are a lot of Thunder fans that are basically out on Giddey at this point. I don't know, his scoring is so weird because his jump shot is ugly as hell. There's no doubting that. I don't know. Josh Giddey is 21, so he still has room to grow, but I do have my doubts as to what he's actually going to be a couple of years in the future, when if you asked me literally last season, I would have said probably a future all-star to some degree, probably not perennial, but an all-star. Outside of that, Cason Wallace is a guy that I can't stop giving credit to because his defense is so good and he just does not miss threes. He's at 54% this season. Last I checked, he was shooting like 80% on corner threes, which is just comically high. Great defender, hitting his three balls, that's what you need. Speaking of hitting three balls, Isaiah Joe, 50% from three on 5.6 attempts per game. He hit 16 of 22 in his last 3 games, and he was 7 for 7 from outside against the Golden State Warriors. And he's making like $2 million per year. That's just insane value. They just got Kenrich Williams back, who can hopefully be a contributor as well. This team is deeper than you might think. Guys are hitting their three ball. Chet is this ridiculous defender. J-Dub makes for a great secondary scoring option. Chet isn't necessarily looked for in the offense from like a perimeter standpoint, I guess, but he's like constantly finishing plays, whether it's catch and shoots or just rolling to the basket or dump offs or alley-oops or whatever it may be. So yeah, this roster is really good. There is only one player on this team with more than 5 years of experience, that being what's his freaking name? Thank you. That being Davis Bertans, and he doesn't even really play like that. So this is a crazy young roster, but they're finding a way to be successful and finding a way to win right now. And as everyone's been saying, OKC has a super bright future, but they might be a little bit further along than even I, as someone who is super high on them, anticipated. So yeah, Chet Holmgren's awesome, top 10 center. OKC's awesome. I'm happy that they're working out. They're one of my favorite teams in the league. But that is it. Goodbye.